Hey Falcons fans! Alright Falcons Nation, let's talk about something that's been buzzing around the league. Our Atlanta Falcons aren't just contenders, they're heavy favorites to win the NFC South this season. After a whirlwind offseason in which we added some serious talent, the question on everyone's minds is, did we do enough to finally dethrone the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Before we jump into today's exciting news, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You won't want to miss any updates as we gear up for what could be a monumental season for our Atlanta Falcons. Let's break it down. The Falcons made some huge moves this offseason, bringing in quarterback Kirk Cousins, linebacker Matt Judon, and safety Justin Simmons. These aren't just names, they're game changers. With these additions, along with the offensive firepower we already have, our team is looking like one of the most improved rosters in the entire NFL. Last season's 7-10 record? That's behind us, and we're looking ahead to something much bigger. But here's the thing, despite all of these changes, the NFC South has been Buc territory for the past 3 seasons. Tampa Bay has dominated this division, even winning the Super Bowl in 2020. Last year, they were led by Baker Mayfield and split the season series with us, with both games going down to the wire. So the big question remains, can we finally overtake them in 2024? According to ESPN, the answer is a resounding yes. The Falcons are the clear favorites to win the division this year, and here's why. But why should we be excited? First, Kirk Cousins is a perfect fit for our offense. Our new offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson, comes from Sean McVay's coaching tree, which means Cousins will be running a system he's already familiar with. Add in the explosive talent of wide receiver Darnell Mooney, and we have a passing attack that's ready to soar. On the defensive side, Matt Judon and Justin Simmons bolster what is shaping up to be a top 10 defense. And here's the cherry on top, our schedule. The Falcons have the easiest projected strength of schedule this season, and will likely face cold weather in just a few games, Denver in Week 11 and Washington in Week 17. Everything is lining up for a breakout season. Even the oddsmakers are on our side, and get this, Tampa Bay's own general manager, Jason Licht, admitted earlier this week that the Falcons should be the favorites this year. When your main rival tells you you're the team to beat, you know something's up. With Week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers just around the corner, we're about to see if all the offseason hype is worth it. General Manager Terry Fontenot has done an incredible job assembling a roster that looks unbeatable on paper, but as we all know, winning the offseason doesn't mean much if you can't win when it counts. So what do you think, Falcons fans? Are we ready to take the NFC South crown from the Buccaneers, or do you see some challenges ahead? Now let's talk about the latest changes our team has made as we prepare for the 2024 season. The Falcons have officially rounded out their initial 16-man practice squad with 3 new additions that will certainly add depth and experience to our roster. First up, we have offensive lineman Elijah Wilkinson, who is no stranger to Atlanta. Wilkinson played for us in 2022, where he started 9 games and took 100% of the offensive snaps at left guard during those games. While injuries sidelined him for a portion of the season, Wilkinson has shown that he is a solid all-around player. This guy has a history of playing both guard and tackle, and his experience will be invaluable as we move forward. Wilkinson was recently released by the Arizona Cardinals, and we are happy to have him back on the team. Next up, we added defensive lineman Khalid Kareem to the team. Kareem was a 5th-round pick by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2020 and has had a promising start to his NFL career, playing at every game for the Bengals as a rookie and racking up 19 tackles and a sack. Unfortunately, injuries have plagued him over the past few seasons, limiting his appearances. But now, with the Falcons, Kareem has another opportunity to prove himself and add some muscle to our defense. He was most recently with the Chicago Bears but was released during final roster cuts. Finally, we have linebacker Monty Rice, a 3rd-round pick out of the University of Georgia in 2021. Rice has been a consistent performer in his 3 seasons with the Tennessee Titans, totaling 128 tackles, 5 stops for loss, and 2 pass deflections. His best season was in 2022, where he made 66 tackles and 4 stops for loss. After a brief stint with the New Orleans Saints during training camp, Rice has now found his way to Atlanta, where he will look to make a significant impact. With his tackling ability and experience, Rice adds another layer of depth to our already formidable linebacker core. Now, Falcons fans, remember that the practice squad is always fluid. Just because we've hit the 16-man limit for now doesn't mean things won't change. The coaching staff is constantly evaluating and making adjustments, so keep an eye out for any future changes. So, what do you think of these latest additions? Are you excited to see Wilkinson back in Atlanta? Do you think Kareem and Rice will make their mark this season? Switching gears a bit, have you seen what happened to former Falcons starting QB Desmond Ridder? It's never easy to watch a former Falcon struggle, especially when it's someone who was once your starting quarterback. But today, we have to talk about Desmond Ridder, who was recently re-signed to the Arizona Cardinals practice squad after being released by the team. Yes, you heard right, our former starter now finds himself fighting just to stay in the league. Ridder's downfall was swift. After being traded to Arizona in a deal that didn't quite work out for either side, remember, we sent Rondale Moore to Atlanta in return. Ridder was supposed to be a potential backup or even starter for the Cardinals. But things didn't go as planned. Ridder lost the backup role to rookie Clayton Tune in a competition that wasn't even close. Now, he's struggling to prove that he belongs on any NFL roster. What went wrong for Ridder? Why did Ridder go from being a starter to barely earning a spot in Arizona? It all comes down to a few key issues. While Ridder has the physical tools, he has decent arm strength and mobility. What's really holding him back is his decision-making on the field. It's almost as if the game is moving too fast for him, and he can't keep up. His late reactions and poor field vision have led to missed opportunities and costly turnovers. This isn't a new issue either. We saw it last season in Atlanta, and now Arizona is seeing the same thing. Unfortunately, in the NFL, if you can't make quick decisions and read the field effectively, no matter how strong your arm is or how fast you can run, you're not going to last long. As much as we'd like to root for Ridder, after all, he's always carried himself with class and taken responsibility for his mistakes. The reality is that his time in the NFL may be up. Backup quarterbacks are a dime a dozen, and unless Ridder can drastically improve his ability to process the game in real time, it's hard to see him around for much longer. Even if Kyler Murray gets hurt, it's doubtful Arizona will turn to Ridder as the solution. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Is this the end of the road for Desmond Ridder, or does he have one last chance to turn things around? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from you. And remember, if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest Falcons news. We have plenty more to cover as the season approaches, so stay tuned. Go Falcons!